How many of you have ever gone for a cup of coffee in your local restaurant or your local cafe? In 2019, Father George Livanos of the All Saints Greek Orthodox Church in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, had a vision to create a local coffee shop that not only would refresh the body, but also provide opportunity to refresh the soul, to connect with friends and family, to provide encouragement and support, to be a part of something greater than ourselves. Sadly, after a 14-month battle with mesothelioma, Father George Livanos fell asleep in the Lord in July of 2021. His passion for life, though, and love for others was contagious. The unmeasured joy exemplified in his life will live on in the hearts forever, and his vision to connect with others was never forgotten. In 2022, a small group of community, civic, and business leaders embarked on bringing Father George's vision to fruition, and the Fresh Start Cafe was born. Our guests today are three special individuals. Kassiani Kalos is the wife of an Orthodox Christian priest, mother to three children, and the daughter of Father George and Dianthe Livanos. She's the owner and operator of her own gluten-free baking business, Gluten Free by Kassiani. Our second guest, Sonia Kupiaris, is the cafe manager and volunteer coordinator. And Don Coleman is a Fresh Start Cafe board member. Welcome to all of you. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good to be here.
Well, I wish I could order coffee, but you don't deliver to Florida, so I just have to watch you have the coffee there on the table with the cookies. Kassiani, let's start with you. Let's talk about the original dream for the cafe. Can you talk about Father George's vision for connecting with the community?
So, interestingly, in the beginning, when I started to first hear about it was something that Papa would talk about casually at family get-togethers, or he and I would be together and he would talk about this, one of the projects that he was currently working on. And it's not like I specifically tuned him out or anything, but it was like, oh, that's one of the projects that Papa's working on. That's nice. That sounds lovely. And I didn't pay too much attention. Because I was honestly just kind of caught up a little bit too much in my own life at the time. But what I have gathered since his passing and since becoming involved in this project is just wonderful pieces of a story. Papa thought that community is really important. And I know that he was looking for ways and places for people to come together and just be real and authentic and to communicate, whether it is, just enjoying a cup of coffee together or sharing a moment, to have a place where people could come and find resources, to come and find welcome. These were all things that were important to him, that he saw that the community needed. And then there's just a really lovely group of people who came together to work on that project and bring it to fruition.
Don, let me come to you now. You are not a member, I understand, of the Greek Orthodox Church, but it's clear that you really care about this project inspired by Father George. It seems like this is a project that really brings people from different backgrounds in the community together. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, was it my Canadian accent that gave it away? Yeah, actually, my connection with the cafe and with Father George goes back a great many years. I've been in Canonsburg now for a decade, and I'm a pastor in a Presbyterian church. And one of the first people who opened their arms and their heart to me was Father George. Tremendously fond of him, saw him in many ways as a mentor, both in the community, but also in the faith. And he did a tremendous job of helping to create community wherever he was and whatever he was involved with. And as this vision for growing the community, for meeting needs that existed in the community was coming out, it really connected with a lot of the same things that were in my heart. I love that Christ came to create a diverse community that goes beyond our natural modes of tribalism, right? He said, neither Greek nor Jew, neither slave nor free. Right. And that's kind of one of the things that is at the heart of Fresh Start Cafe. It doesn't matter what happened to you yesterday or last year, or who you were when you walk through these doors. You can find community. You can find people to love you and care for you. And one of the great things is that basically everybody who's involved in a real way has Christ in common. No matter what other letters or names fall after that, we have Christ in common, and it's great to be a part of a place that's continuing to build on that in this community.
Well, Father George was not a very happy person. He never smiled, never opened his arms to people. Oh my God, just the opposite. This man was philoxenia, welcoming everyone par excellence. And he was a good friend of mine. I have to be honest here in full disclosure. He was a good friend of mine, a brother priest, and someone the likes of which I haven't met recently, who actually welcomes every single person as they are created in the image and the likeness of God. So Father George's loss is felt by many people, but I know his spirit lives on now through what you're doing. Sonia, let me come to you. What do you think makes the cafe different as a business, as a community space? And what can people expect? You're working there today when we're doing this recording. What can they expect when they visit?
Well, first of all, thank you, Father Chris, for having us. We're delighted anytime we get to talk about Fresh Start Cafe. I know I can talk about it all day long, which I do, I get to. The thing that sets us apart from any of the other businesses here in Canonsburg is that we are a nonprofit, which truly sets us apart. We give back to the community with every cup of coffee that's purchased here. And not only are we doing that in small ways, but in big ways. And I think that, you know, as time goes on, the community will feel that they've already been so warm and welcoming to us. And we've had a great reception of the community coming together. And a lot of people don't know our backstory or anything about Fresh Start Cafe, but I will tell you, when they walk in here, they can feel the warmth. They can feel the warmth in our smiles. But I truly feel the presence of Father George here every single day. We have his photo here. I talk to him every day. He was my spiritual father for 22 years. So I, just like the rest of our community, suffered a great loss too. But the joy that I get to live every day is that I get to talk about Father George every single day. There are people who walk in just to peek in and say, "Oh, what is this place? It's so nice." And I'm like, "Come." So my heart is filled with joy just being able to be a part of this. So, but yes, and like, I think your second question was, how do we manage our staff here? So myself, as well as maybe 2 other individuals, are employed. The rest are volunteers. So we have about 20 volunteers that we rotate through, who have either come once or they come every week. They come at their own leisure. They spend either an hour, sometimes 4. And the joy that they get just being here and knowing that what they're doing is helping their community is huge. And a lot of them don't know Father George, but of course, I talk about him all the time, and I love sharing his personality with people. They walk away feeling like they know him. I describe Father George as the sun. I always felt warmth in his presence, and that's what you feel when you walk in here. I wish that you were here so that you could be here and truly feel what it's like to be in this coffee shop.
Absolutely, absolutely. And is the cafe located in like a downtown area with stores, or out in a mall somewhere? Where is it located?
So we're right in the heart of Pittsburgh. We're in the heart of Canonsburg. So this is a sleepy little town that's just starting to come back to life again. It's got a lot of history. My husband grew up here, so I know a lot about Canonsburg. But what's so cool is seeing how the people who are in this town really get behind something that's new, and they're excited for the growth here. We are literally on the main street. There are some more up and coming shops, but you know, overall it's an older town, and it's I believe it's on its way back up again, and I'm happy we're here to be a part of it, so.
No, that's the kind of town that I grew up in. I can imagine people just walking down the street and seeing all these places. Cassiani, let me come back to you. Tell us of your role in the cafe now.
So professionally, I am blessed and excited to be partnering with the cafe. I have my own gluten-free company and I do baked goods. So I provide a lot of the baked goods that you see in here. This is a place where my business gets the opportunity to sell, where I get to sell my product. And 25% of all of my sales here at the cafe get donated back to the cafe in support of the mission. So that's professionally. Personally, I'm really excited and honored and happy to be a part of this place and the mission. I come and sign up for some shifts and I work and make coffee for people.
And she's so good at it.
Well, I'm looking now. I picked up my phone and I'm looking at DoorDash and Uber, and I'm saying, can I order something to be sent to Florida? They're saying, no, I can't do that. So I hope someday you'll be able to deliver the stuff. Okay.
God will.
Don, let's come to you again. As a nonprofit, the cafe engages in charitable work beyond the walls of the cafe. Am I right?
Well, in fact, the doors were barely open before we were the Canonsburg-Houston Ministerial Association, which helps to run a food bank in our community, was presented with a contribution on behalf of the cafe. So right from the very drop, giving back to the community has been a part of that. Blessings in a Backpack, another ministry that has happened. In fact, we've got a wall just behind the camera of contributions that have been made from the cafe to various other ministries and missions in our community. And what's also not there, and this is maybe as important as that, as what is there, is the needs that are met quietly behind the scenes. As you're well aware, there are a lot of people who will not publicly admit to a need that they have, but in community, you get to discover what things might be able to be helped out with. And quietly behind the scenes, this cafe has been able to meet needs, both spiritual and financial and tangible, in people's lives. And it is just a tremendous gift to know that this cafe exists to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to all three of you one at a time, of course, and ask you the question, briefly answer, what do you see the vision going forward? I mean, where is this thing going to go?
Well, I hope that it just gets busier in here, that, right now we've got a little bit of a lull. There are busier times of the day and, less busy times, but I think we all talk up the cafe and its mission all over town in the Pittsburgh area. And I hope to see it getting busier, to see more people's needs met. Again, whether it's just socially for a nice cup of coffee in a warm, welcoming place, or in a more, a bigger, different way, whether it's, financial need or being connected with the resources that individual might need.
I see this as just the first stepping stone, because what I get to see on a daily basis is the way that our coffee shop makes others feel. There are so many times individuals will just be here having a cup of coffee, and myself or another volunteer will engage in conversation, and we could be the only person that asked them that day, how are you? What are you, how are you today? So I hope that we are a way for others to reach out to others who simply don't have anybody else in their life. So I think that the community of our coffee shop and the friendliness that we have here, I hope encourages others to reach out and do the same.
Okay. And Don, finally, do you have any guidance for those who may be interested in starting a similar project, or what do you feel the future is?
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer them in reverse. How's that? What I see the future is, I don't know, and I don't mean to cheat and not answer your question. I'm looking forward to the surprises, the things that were completely unexpected, because I feel like God works in ways that we don't even imagine, and we start walking in a particular direction, and then we hear the whispers of God, leading us off into something that was better than we could have dreamed at the beginning. For anybody who's interested in starting some endeavor like this, I guess let me give you three things, and they're all P's. The first is, I would say, prayer. I mean, we're all coming from this from a Christian, from a Christian perspective. I think you need to be listening for what God is whispering in your own community. Maybe that's a cafe or a coffee shop, or maybe it's something completely different. You need to know what the needs are where you are, and the ways that God is already at work, and inviting you in. I think patience. This is a project that has been, I think, for everybody involved, took a lot longer than anybody imagined, but it's paying off. And I think the third thing is the people. It's easy to have a passion for something and to start walking down the road and not really get anywhere until you have the right people in place. And I feel like we would be remiss if we don't mention somebody very significant to this project, and his name is John Dezak. John is a member of All Saints Greek Orthodox, is a businessman and entrepreneur, and he was tremendously impacted by Father George. And I think it was on his heart for quite a long time, until he finally had the right push from God to take so much of what was in his heart and Father George's heart and this community's heart, and help to push it to fruition. And sometimes you just don't have the right people yet. And be patient, keep in prayer, and allow God to move until the time is right. That's, I guess, what I would say.
Okay. Kassiani, Sonia, Don, thank you very much for being with us, for sharing a cup of coffee of friendship, not necessarily a cup of coffee or a cookie there, but actually sharing that friendship and that love that comes, I know, from the inspiration of Father George Livanos. May his memory be eternal. May his life be a blessing to all of us. And I hope you will continue to touch lives. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father.